Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one, and welcome back to Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Gate Daemonhunters, where I am finally able, because I now have 10 Poxus Seeds, to research the source of the bloom and start moving this storyline along. So that should keep Inquisitor Waifu happy at least, and off my back for at least the next 16 days while she does her research. Also, because I always try to pick a central location to position the Baleful Edict, and because I have Prognosticars attuned, slowing down the spread of warp corruption, I am able to reach a second outbreak of bloom spawn, although I'm going to be cutting it really close. Before it's too late, I run out of time and the corruption level on the afflicted planet rises. But then, a funny thing happened on the way to the planet Lorien 3.
Critical warning. Gun batteries malfunctioning. Evidence of glitchling infestation detected.
Sound the alarm. Another Nurgle menace. They exist to corrupt our machines.
How do we fight them?
We hunt them to the last. On the open battlefield, a legion of such creatures would be a trivial match for a single Grey Knight. Locating them, on the other hand,
Impractical. Servitors will be more efficient.
So now I have to make a choice. I don't want to have a bunch of Knights or Tech Priest Lunette unavailable, so we're going to purge the ship.
Risk assessment. Extreme. Recommend alternatives.
you heard the order, Dominus. We must not take such infestations lightly.
Okay, that could have been worse. The Promethean Purge has severely damaged the ship. Let's hope I don't need the ship's gun batteries in the immediate future, or I will be in the shit. Let's continue on our way. Right, Interceptor Storm has recovered from his critical wounds, but he's had to be augmented with a muscular rebuild, which means he's going to take 43 days to recover to full strength. Oh, shit. Okay, fine. This is what happens if you let your boys get critically injured. We are due the Grandmaster's report in the next day, however, so we'll see what happens here. Oh, and improved reactor output 2 is ready. Okay. So, the ship did just get damaged, although this level 2 reactor output has unlocked a whole bunch of further upgrades, which are all really nice. Plus 50% construction speed, for example. Unfortunately, the ship is damaged, and I should probably really get it repaired before I start doing anything fancy. Let's at least restore basic functionality first. Oh, look at that. The Exterminatus is now available. If I judge that chaos corruption has gone too far to be remedied on a planet, I can just burn the planet. But yeah, we're going to get some essential repairs done before we start messing around and doing anything fancy. So, gun batteries first. And then, just before we arrive at the next mission, it's time to report back in for the monthly assessment with Grandmaster Kai.
I despise waste, Inquisitor. The Baleful Edict has been operating under your direction for months, and yet this mild infestation of yours persists. I expected concrete results, not more reams of speculative guesswork.
To unravel the workings of chaos is no simple task, Grandmaster. This plague cannot be fought with steel alone.
That may be. Now, to the business at hand. I have only been able to give a cursory scan of your latest account. Commander, I would have a frank assessment on your collective progress in the field.
I think it's always best to be honest with Grandmaster Kai, so I'm not going to be overconfident and tell him the bloom is no match for us.
Yes, the Edict is a year out of our campaign against the Cadian blood cult, and we have yet to reach a dry dock for repairs. If a fresh relief vessel could be sent in our stead, I'm sure this whole endeavor could be resolved more concisely.
I'd heard your venerable tech priest had a reputation for achieving miraculous field repairs. Is that honor unearned?
The Dominus's capabilities are not in question.
Watch yourself, Ektar. Your words may carry weight in your brotherhood, but they cannot summon spare cruisers into my armory. At best, I can send you some servitors. but I will not accept any more excuses. I want results.
I'm starting to think he hasn't actually read my reports.
Grandmasters are used to giving orders and having them obeyed. If you could try to restrain yourself from debating every last point upon which you differ, you might more readily earn his respect.
I suppose it was optimistic of me to expect that by dealing with the Adeptus Astartes, I could be free of the sort of loathsome bureaucratic pandering necessary in the rest of the Imperium.
The Grey Knights have a saying: we serve the cause of humanity, but expect nothing from it.
I've already readjusted my expectations.
Right, so that probably could have gone better, although I'm not sure how. By trying to not piss anybody off, I've managed to piss everybody off. Both Dominus Lunette and Inquisitor Waifu are now taking longer to complete their assigned tasks, based on the choices that I made. Oh well, whatever. Now I get to spend my requisition points to improve the requisition that I get from the Armory of Titan. I definitely want new war gear now that I have the access to things like Extractor Servo Skulls. So this is going to increase the options that are available to me to spend my requisition points on post-mission. And by a stroke of luck, just as Interceptor Storm is effectively incapacitated for the next 43 days, Titan are offering me a replacement Interceptor, the rank 2 Increus Dalmar. Right, let's get this fella equipped because I suspect he will be going on the next mission. So 10% bonus crit chance on a Stormbolter? I'll take that. That's his ranged weapon. Now for his melee weapons. I've got no shortage of force swords. Let's have a look at these Falchions. I don't really want to give him a double-handed weapon. I do have plenty of spare force swords. So what do we have here? +1 crit damage. Nah. This one's got some very nice capabilities, but they're all locked behind upgrades. So, nice weapon, but not yet. The Blade of Infernus. Now it doesn't cause stun damage, but it gives this guy a 50% chance to negate any melee attack made against him, so that's pretty nice. Now for his armour, I have one spare set of Mastercrafted Power Armour, the Radiant Ward, which gives him +10% to his resistances, so we'll go ahead and equip that. Let's have a look at the War Gear, Sacred Incense, +2 max willpower. That's probably not a bad idea to equip something like that on the Justicars. But for now at least I'm going to go ahead and give it to Brother Dalmar. I almost forgot to assign his promotion points, so this is going to be nice and simple. Bonus willpower, the teleport ability, extra range on his teleport, and more bonus willpower. I could have just gone straight for the teleport strike ability, but you need willpower to do that, and I might have overdone it a little with the willpower. He does have 9, but hey, it's better to have it and not need it. And on to the mission. Right, so my prognosticars are attuned to this system, which slowed the spread of the corruption and is one of the reasons why I was able to get here in time. I also have excellent intelligence on the kind of threat that I'm going to face. Because the prognosticars are attuned, the effective corruption level on this planet is 0, 1 less than the actual corruption level. Potential rewards available include a rank 3 interceptor. Ooh, that's going to be nice. And some tier 1 equipment. Okay, the glorious deed here is to kill 8 enemies with ranged weapons. That should be pretty doable, so we're going to go ahead and do that and hopefully get some bonus requisition points upon successful mission completion. So I'm going in with 2 injured Marines, Iolanthus and Thule. I'm going to swap out Justicar Boars, however, for the new boy Interceptor Dalmar. As far as my stratagems are concerned, I only have the 2, Quicksilver and Gate of Infinity. They're both equipped. I don't have any special prognosticar influence in this system. So let's kick the tyres and light the fires and get this show on the road.
This cathedral was home to the heretic Nulinius, though his cult was marked for purging over 300 years ago.
Time, or perhaps something else, seems to have done the deed for you, Knight.
No matter what foul ground our enemy chooses to sow his seeds, we will cleanse it.
Right, so this mission should be pretty straightforward. Eliminate 2 seed carriers, Or, and this is important because you don't have to just kill the seed carriers, you can also win the mission by extracting the seeds. Now, it doesn't actually say that in the mission requirements up in the top left of the screen, it just says eliminate all seed carriers. Remember that. That's going to be quite important later on. As usual, we start the mission off by moving the boys up, trying to keep them together so that they can mutually support each other when we do eventually initiate contact with the first group of enemies. And that first group of enemies is a patrol consisting of 2 Plague Marines, one of which has a heavy weapon. Right, combat is initiated, everybody has their action points refreshed. I am going to start things off, as I mean to continue, by warp charging onto the chapter on Interceptor Dalmar. So the warp charge, and remember, Iolanthus can use his psychic abilities without increasing the warp meter. Using onto the chapter on a Marine usually means they get an additional 2 action points, but when you warp charge it, they get an additional 3 action points and the point of willpower. Which means those 2 clown shoes should be no match whatsoever for the new boy, Interceptor Dalmar. So we're going to remember he doesn't have the teleport strike ability, but he can teleport up to 15 squares, which puts him right next to this fella. And yeah, it's an extra 5% on the warp meter. We'll go ahead and force strike, which cleaves right through the first Plague Marine's armor. An additional force strike isn't going to kill him, so there's no point in expending extra willpower. Either way, we're going to have to hit him twice more, so we'll go ahead and take care of the heavy weapon Marine. That leaves his sidekick. Now, I only have the 1 remaining action point, but I have got a crit. I'm going to disable his ranged weapon by hacking off the arm that's holding the ranged weapon. And now it's up to the rest of the boys to finish him off before he gets a chance to strike back. So Apothecary Han can shoot from here. We'll go ahead and do that. And unfortunately he's now out of action points. Iolanthus, because he did use an action point to give honor the chapter to Interceptor Dalmar, he can't actually... I mean, we'll move him up, but he'll have no action points when he gets here. So that just leaves Purgator Thule, who can get up to here and still have 1 action point remaining, which means he gets to shoot this guy in the face. Which is...
Target destroyed.
Target destroyed. Indeed, Purgator Thule, you naughty, naughty... And I've just realised I've still forgotten to give him grenades. He's got an Extractor Servo Skull in his grenade slot. Still, this isn't even the first time I've noticed it, and I keep forgetting to fix it. Which is particularly annoying, because I've spent promotion points on Purgator Thule in order to turn him into something of a grenadier. You put grenades into his grenade slot, and he not only gets 3 of them, 2 more than everybody else, but all of his grenades have +1 blast radius. So this is really annoying. I really must remember to fix this. Anyway, it looks like we're about to get bounced by the next patrol anyway, since they're heading towards that gate up ahead, so let's get the boys into position. And sure enough, here they come. Right, 1 Plague Marine, Cultist, and a couple of Foxwalkers. So this guy's setting up Overwatch on the flank. There is another patrol over there, but it's heading in a safe direction. So, I mean, I can get some easy kills here with Interceptor Dalmar, but I like the way these guys are all grouped up. One of these guys is a seed carrier. We'll worry about that in a moment. For now, I'm moving Purgator Thule up to here for 1 action point. And then I'm targeting the guy in the middle. And we're going to hit them all with a Psychic Onslaught, which is basically going to kill pretty much all of them. You should have 1 action point left, which I can use to reload. That just leaves the Marine and the Cultist. So that was kind of nice. Also, because he got all those kills, Purgator Thule recovers the willpower point that he expended to use the Psychic Onslaught. Now then, another lucky crit from Apothecary Han. We're going to go and try to get 2 stuns on this Marine. Dalmar is going to be able to easily finish him off. He has 10 hit points. He now has 5. A single strike will kill him. Didn't need the stun anyway. That leaves the seed carrier. One action point remaining on Iolanthus. You can shoot him. I'll go ahead and boost it with a Psybolt. Again, spending willpower on Iolanthus doesn't increase the warp meter. And that's the second patrol, and a further seed carrier dealt with. There is now only one seed carrier. How are we doing for the Glorious Deed? How many enemies have I killed? I only need to kill one more enemy with a ranged weapon to also get the Glorious Deed, and there's a Poxus Seed just lying over there waiting to be picked up. And it looks like that final patrol is actually moving away. Yes, it is, so I might be able to get over here. I'm just having a look around for additional Poxus Seeds that I might have missed. But with the patrol heading in the other direction, I should be able to get up here and pick up that Poxus Seed just lying in the low ground up there without initiating contact with that final remaining patrol. And that's another Poxus Seed harvested. Oh wait, there are 2 additional patrols. But the second patrol, the one that I just spotted, does not include a seed carrier, so I don't need to engage it. This patrol over in this direction is the one that I do need to engage in order to complete the mission. And remember, I also need to get one more ranged kill, which shouldn't be an issue with Purgator Thule around, in order to complete the Glorious Deed and get 2 bonus requisition points upon successful mission completion. Right, this one's going to be tough. 3 Plague Marines. The guy at the front is the seed carrier. I can hit 2 of them with a grenade, and I need to be careful, at least if I want to recover the seed, that I don't blast this guy over the edge of the abyss with the blast from the grenade. I mean, killing him would also work, but I'd like to recover the seed if possible. And I'd forgotten that you can recover a seed by getting a melee crit on the seed carrier, so when I moved Apothecary Horn up and got a lucky crit, that lucky crit had unexpected consequences.
Well done, my brothers. However, the Plague God's minions converge on your location. Hold your ground until the Dominus can teleport you from the surface.
Because the mission, remember, was to eliminate all of the seed carriers, but it also completes if you extract all of the seeds. And I went ahead and accidentally extracted all of the seeds. So now I have 2 sets of reinforcements coming through Chaos Gates on both sides of the group of Marines that I'm currently fighting. This is not good. Fortunately, Apothecary Horn was able to stun the seed carrier, which means that Iolanthus can not only recover a willpower point by executing him, but the act of executing him also gives everybody else in the squad 1 additional action point. And with reinforcements coming in from either side, I am going to need those. Iolanthus still has 2 action points. Yeah, what the hell, why not? I do need another ranged kill in order to complete that Glorious Deed, and Iolanthus seals the deal by finishing off the second of the 2 surviving Plague Marines. That patrol is now coming this way. This could get real bad real quick. 1 Marine left, and reinforcements coming through those gates at the end of this turn. Where can I move Dalmar to, where he isn't going to trigger that additional patrol, and he's still going to have enough action points left to actually do something? You have 2 action points if I move him here. I can now teleport him to melee range. Again, I'm kind of wishing I had the teleport strike right now, because if I had, that would have also done some damage. And now I can just hit this guy. I'm going to boost it with a Force Strike. This will push the warp meter up to 60%, which isn't terrible. Unfortunately, Purgator Thule is way too far back to be able to do it. Maybe. He'll still have 1 action point if I move him up to here. Is that close enough? Oh, it is. There's no point in hitting him with a Psychic Onslaught. That's an area of effect ability. It's close enough to get a shot off, but it isn't close enough to kill him. Now it's the enemy turn. The new boy does get a reaction attack off, which sadly does not kill the last Plague Marine as he moves away. He then, of course, moves to cover and heals himself up. That patrol is getting closer and closer and closer, and here come the reinforcements. Okay. That could have been worse. There's one cultist with a ranged weapon, but the rest are poxwalkers who only have melee attacks. What about this Chaos Gate? 2 more Plague Marines. The Bloom rises to 75%. Again, that's perfectly manageable. Now, in retrospect, what I should probably have done here is use the Infinity Gate stratagem to teleport everybody over to this group of 2 Plague Marines. Beat the shit out of them, which I would have been able to do quite easily with all 4 guys on them, and then hunker down on the far side, or the near side rather, of that wall over there, and just set up Overwatch and mow down anybody that came around the corner and wait out the 2 turns for extraction. Of course I didn't do that. I went for what at the time seemed like the next best option. I mean, I've basically just wasted the Sanctified Kill Zone from Purgator Fool there, it's not going to have any effect, but Apothecary Harm's grenade is going to knock them both off into the abyss. So that was nice. What I should have done now is just move the rest of the Marines up to Apothecary Harm, and again hunker down on the far side of that wall and just wait with Overwatch to mow down anybody who comes around the corner. If I'd done that, I wouldn't have gotten the second patrol. But I'm looking at all of those poxwalkers and I'm thinking, experience points. And it is kind of tempting. I mean, you can see I was starting to think maybe hunkering down over here is a good idea because I've moved Interceptor Storm over here and I'm just shooting at some of these poxwalkers. It's not like I need the additional ranged kills, but I was conscious of the fact that that second patrol was coming this way. At the same time though, that's a big old bunch of experience just sitting over there waiting to be claimed, and I'm trying to figure out ways of doing exactly that. So where can I move Purgator Fool to, where he'll still have an action point remaining and be able to do something? And honestly I don't think I can unless I use Justicar Iolanthus to once again honour the chapter. Unfortunately, Justicar Iolanthus doesn't have enough willpower. Well, he does. He has 3 willpower, which is 1 more than he needs to just give honour the chapter to Purgator Fool, but he doesn't have the 4 willpower required to warp charge honour the chapter. So instead, I make a huge cock up and I blow my Quicksilver stratagem on Purgator Fool instead to give him 2 bonus action points. And then I further compound my mistake by completely wasting those 2 additional action points because Purgator Fool is just too far behind to be able to do anything useful. Iolanthus still has the 1 action point, so we're going to go ahead and shoot this guy. Now this is going to give him the 4th willpower point that he will need to warp charge on the chapter on somebody. But Thule has to reload his weapon. He's too far back to be able to use the bonus action points to move anywhere useful and do anything with the weapon. So I've completely wasted the Quicksilver stratagem, and this Poxwalker is now raising the dead in his vicinity, which is not good news. He then runs up to melee range of Justicar Iolanthus, followed by the other lesser Poxwalkers, one of whom Iolanthus gets a reaction strike off and kills. He is in good cover, so the cultist with the auto gun doesn't actually manage to hit him, but then sets up Overwatch. Don't forget, we've still got this Plague Marine as well, who was also setting up Overwatch after healing himself. On the bright side, this patrol manages to get as close as it possibly can without actually realising that there's a fight happening. The Warp Surge goes off, and it's probably one of the worst things that it can be. Iolanthus, who is covered by 2 different sets of Overwatch with an extremely dangerous exploding enemy standing right next to him, is now hobbled, which reduces his movement for the next 3 turns. Now that pustulant fat bastard next to him is the most immediate problem because he explodes on death and afflicts everybody around him with the plague. But if I use the Hammer Hand ability, it gives me plus 100% crit, which means I can disable his pestilential explosion. And now if he dies, he's not going to explode and kill anybody around him. Finish him off with a melee attack, which is nice. More bonus willpower for Iolanthus, but if I try to move him anywhere, he's going to get hurt. So I'm just going to Aegis Shield. And then we have to do something about the rest of them. So Dalmar can teleport, but let's explore other options first. Purgator Fool. He does have enough willpower to do a psychic onslaught. Yes. This will kill the two lesser Poxwalkers and seriously injure the cultist, although it hasn't done anything about removing the Overwatch. But I have a sneaky plan. I'm going to teleport over there with Interceptor Dalmar. Or at least, that's what I thought I was doing. But what I am actually doing is running right through both overlapping zones of Overwatch, getting the new boy shot to shit, and triggering the third and final patrol. To be completely fair, even if I had done what it was that I was initially planning to do and teleported over there, it still wouldn't have been a great idea because he would have still triggered that final patrol, although he wouldn't have taken all the Overwatch damage on the way, so now he is really in the shit. He's out of action points, and he's about to get bounced by multiple enemies. So I need to get him healed up and out of there. Apothecary Harm to the rescue. He's going to warp charge his heal, which is not just going to heal up all of his remaining health, it's also going to give him a bonus action point, and I can use that bonus action point to get the fuck out of dodge. And back over here on the far side of the wall, or am I? Maybe I can kill this Plague Marine. Well, I can't because I've only got one action point. Even if I force strike it, he's not going to die. I'm getting greedy again, aren't I? Well, I do need to finish this guy off. Except I don't, because I only have to hold out until the end of this turn. It does mean that Apothecary Han is going to get swarmed, but rather he gets swarmed than Interceptor Dalmar, because he has Terminator armor with 3 points of bonus armor on it. And I'm pretty sure, even though I never really planned for this to happen, because I'm crap, that Apothecary Han is going to be okay, or at the very least survive this. Yeah, they can set up multiple zones of Overwatch on him, that's fine. As long as they're not shooting him. Okay, his armor has taken all of the ranged attacks, but there are probably still going to be a couple of melee attacks from the Poxwalkers around him. This guy can blow his action points on resurrecting as many of the dead as he wants. They're not going to be able to kill Apothecary Han before the end of their turn. And then a bonus, even though I totally didn't deserve it, because the Plague Marine tries to escape and Dalmar cuts him down with a reaction.
Beginning teleportation.
So, despite committing all kinds of unforgivable errors in the last part of that mission, I did actually manage to get away with it while only suffering minimal penalties as a result of the ridiculously bad decisions that I made. So, I was unjustifiably feeling pretty good about the result of this mission, while not taking into account the fact that this was one of the easiest mission types, just eliminate some seed carriers. There were no bloom spawns in this mission, and thanks to my prognosticar influence, the effective corruption level on this mission was basically 0. And if I continue making these kind of rookie errors on higher difficulty missions, I'm going to get my arse handed to me. But for now, requisition. Ooh, an extended magazine, +1 ammo for range weapons. I like the look of that. Also a set of Terminator armor with bonus grenade blast area. That's less useful, since my Grenadier, who I must remember to equip grenades on, can't equip Terminator armor. I'm definitely going to take the extended magazine though, and we are going to accept the services of the rank 3 Terminator Issad as well. I'm looking at this Fury of Deimos Stormbolter as well. I mean, I'm not exactly short of Stormbolters, but this one does an extra 1 damage on Overwatch, so we'll go ahead and take that. Now then, promotion time. What do we have? Oh, nothing. Well, that's kind of disappointing. I was expecting at least Interceptor Dalmar to pick up a promotion, but he did start on rank 2, so okay, fair enough. On the bright side, only light wounds. Apothecary Han isn't even injured, despite the battering we took at the end of that mission. So, another successful mission. We managed to actually handle 2 of the bloom spawns that popped up during that mission phase. We were never going to reach the 3rd one, and I honestly wouldn't have wanted to anyway, because it's inside a warp storm, and that shit is bad news. But I am definitely going to have to start cleaning my act up, because things are only going to get harder, not easier, and if I keep making rookie mistakes like this, I am never going to see this campaign through to a successful completion, because this game is hard. Nevertheless, I hope you have enjoyed today's video, and as always, be pure, Be vigilant. Behave.